the
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Thursday Night Live.
Hey guys.
Sup?
Happy
Sup?
Thursday.
Thank you guys for showing. Hello,
Miss Linda Nelson.
Woo!
It's been a week. It's been a week. It's been a week today, but it's also been a week this week. And, you know, we're here. We're doing. As always, as you guys are filtering in, we're going to get to a couple announcements. One of the big ones is this weekend we are going to be at the Central Kentucky Mystical Market. That's here in Lexington, Kentucky, at the Clarion Hotel Convention Center on Newtown Pike. I think the address is 3000 Newtown.
That sounds about right.
But yeah, we'll be there all weekend doing what it is that we do, hanging out. Come by, see us, literally the three of us, and possibly Mr. Tyree. And who knows, we may have some special guests. We don't fucking know. We never know. But mechanics will show or they won't, and we'll be there in some capacity, giving out free handshakes, high fives, and hugs. We also have, some interesting things that are coming up the pipe. We'll get into that here in just a second. Next weekend, so a week from Saturday, we're going to be in Middleton, Ohio, for Mystic Nights at 7 Mile Winery, and we're looking forward to that. 100% looking forward to that. It's always a great event. It's only a single day, and it's going from 2 to 9. Now, the awesome thing about that is something Ray's going to tell you guys about.
Possibly. His connection might have cut.
Maybe. What happened?
Ray cannot talk about because my internet is acting up again.
Okay. So at 9, after everybody leaves the event and heads over, we're going to be at Archie's Tavern for a special paid investigation with us. $40, and you get to spend the night with us in a haunted location. Oh my.
Oh my.
Get some real Scooby-Doo situations going on. And what makes it really fun on this one is it's a location that we haven't been to either. So it's new ground for everybody. If you're interested in that, you can get your tickets through the Mystic Nights. There are flyers rolling around. You can also get them through the SMX page, spiritmechanics.com. And I'm pretty sure we share it multiple times a day on multiple platforms, our own pages. You can find it. But yeah, you can look up tickets on spiritmechanics.com or the Mystic Nights page. Excuse me. Trying to think of what's coming up other than that. I think that does it for the big events in June.
Yeah, that's it for June.
Okay.
Sweet.
So other things that are going on. Brian, tell us a little bit about what's been going on our YouTubes.
We have been posting episodes for different paranormal investigations. That's pretty much it. We try to premiere them every other week at 8 or 9. It was I think it's like 8. I think it's 8.
I think it's 8.
I think it's 8.
We try to premiere them every other Friday at 8. This next one, I haven't got it. I haven't even truthfully started working on it. I get my stuff from my hard drive tomorrow, actually, so I can actually have space to be able to work and have a computer that actually works. But current plan is to, I think, maybe do the Raws this one.
Okay.
Sounds good. We love the Raws.
It loves us.
It do.
So it is.
I'm definitely putting that in there.
Do it.
That we love the Raws?
No,
And it loves us.
no.
Which part?
Oh no.
Quack, quack, quack.
Yeah, do it. Do it. Yeah, we're
I'm definitely putting that in there.
It was requested.
Quack, 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 quack. If you guys don't know what we're talking about, you'll have to tune in and see it. It's a spectacular moment.
It was a delightful show.
It certainly was. But it was actually requested.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's what makes it really interesting. So we'll have that up. Also, we've got our shorts that we're doing, similar to the reels here on Facebook. And of course, you guys can watch Thursday Night Live on YouTube and catch the recap if you missed it. So everything gets uploaded there as well as here.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
I caught your disease from last week.
Oh my goodness.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But,
Like, what you talking about?
what you talking about? What's diseases? Doctor, check me. I'm fine.
Speaking of diseases, you know what a disease is? An attachment.
Ha ha ha. Not really.
No.
That's why we're going to talk about attachments.
Fuck sake.
We're doing class on it there, Jim.
Back it up there, Terry.
Back it up, Terry. Why do I have no mobility? Well, we left the trailer on it when we dropped it. I'll run this boat up on the shore. We'll hook it back up. Pull me out.
So attachments.
We're not done with announcements.
No, we're not doing that yet. I'm still in the process of talking about YouTube, social media and shit.
Terry said I didn't do it. You can't prove it. Oh.
I need to laugh after today. So, we do have some further plans. We're going to be getting with each other on that, as far as like giving some extra content on our short platforms, some more short form stuff. That way, it's not just highlights. That's going to be something that's going to be in the near future. Probably, I would look for it for a little bit, at least a month or two. But it's just something to kind of keep in the back of your mind that stuff is coming as far as that. There may be some other opportunities come up. I don't know how that situation is going because I haven't heard anything about it from management. We'll talk later.
Okay. Oh,
Yes,
okay.
because we kind of need to do
I
something
need-
with that.
I need to know. I need to know what's going on because it's my department. I don't know.
So YouTube.
YouTube. Other than that, if we have anything else like if vlog stuff, if you are interested in it, when we go to places, go out of town.
Like the actual trip, us hanging out, doing the thing, more slice of life stuff as opposed to metaphysics and paranormal investigation.
I mean, next weekend would be a great opportunity. Y'all are going up there to the winery and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It gives a good time to be able to do that and get me some footage.
Get me some of that there footage.
Give me some of that there footage. That way I can use it. I don't have a video philosopher's stone. I can't make it out of thin air, man.
These hands.
These hands have done things, but if there's nothing in it, I can't do nothing.
The downside of an alchemy
Mm-hmm.
situation.
Hi guys.
Hi, Kevin.
Hey Russell.
Howdy, howdy. Of course, content's going to stay the way that it is. Now you got me fucking doing it. Jesus.
Blah, blah, blah.
Wow, wow, wow. But-
Rabble, rabble.
Really, all this time he was drunk?
But we have attachments that we're talking about tonight. Next week is the stages of possession with special guest mechanic Davis. He'll be on with us. And
So come to find out,
yes.
we found out recently, news to us, that we no longer take possession cases.
Oh, it was amazing finding that out. Apparently, in my sleep, I drunk dialed somebody I don't know and told them for a fact that we don't take possession or demonic cases.
We do, guys.
Yeah,
Love you guys. You need help, let a bitch know.
for real. This is another situation of if you guys don't hear it from us specifically, you probably shouldn't fucking trust it.
I walk in here, just coming off the road, they tell me that, and I'm like, since when?
Right? It's news to me. Like she tells me this, and I'm like, huh? When did I decide that?
And we must have outvoted Steve. Fuck.
I mean,
So we're
even,
sleep voting now.
Yeah.
even then, it's like, wonder when the team decided that without me. It's like, what the fuck is going on? Have yet to hear a response for that, but I'm pretty sure we will.
You heard it here, though, guys. We love you. You need help. Let a bitch know.
In all honesty,
Please.
and especially anymore, you've got a lot of dumb competition. You've got a lot of misinformation. You've got a lot of bullshit rolling around. If you don't know for certain if something's going on with us, or if you have some kind of question for us, please talk to us first before you get your information from somebody else. It's safer. If you know for a fact that there is a mechanic that is on your friends list, one of the three of us, Keith, Ethan, Tiff, Seneca, Raymond, Tyree,
Redmond.
like there's a passel of us, and that's not all of us. If you know for a fact that you have a mechanic on your friends list, ask them.
We'll be honest with you.
100%. That's just the dumbest shit in the world. I don't know these guys personally, but they don't take demonic cases anymore. Jesus.
It's like I can go into that tirade if I wanted to, but I'm not going to. We got to go into attachments.
Speaking of attachments,
Next week we can talk about that.
technically,
Next week we can talk about that.
$8,000.
$8,000.
Hi, Renee. Where are you?
Yeah, where are you? Actually, she's out of school.
Okay, I just saw a picture. Never mind. I know where she did.
She is out of school, so she is enjoying the summer off.
Don't forget that this is an 18+ show.
It is 100%.
Raymond posted that.
Okay.
Yep.
He's sitting in the background.
Yep. It is 100% an 18+ show. If you're watching with your children, that is your choice. But this is adult content. All of our content is 18+. It literally is the way that it is. We are not going to censor ourselves to make other people feel better. We've done that enough. And we're not going to lie about who it is that we are, because that's not what integrity is. So if there is difficulty with our language or our subject matter, then you can discuss that with us in private. But this is how it is. We are who we are. We do what we do, and we go with what we go with. Because apparently that's been an issue as well. So I'm stating it here for everybody to understand and know. That way, there are no qualms.
Some of us really like the word fuck.
It is part of the vocabulary. This one's from Texas, but we're from Kentucky, and you're taught at a very early age that that is a punctuation mark
And a unit of measure.
and a state of being. But so attachments, we break them down into broad category, but three major categories, at least as far as what we discuss with clients and students. And that is emotional attachments, physical attachments, and other attachments. And we're going to go down the list here. So starting with emotional attachments.
Student.
You want me to go?
Nah, I got it. I'm going to go into where they are ethereally. Give me symptoms.
Symptoms of an attachment?
Of
An
emotional.
emotional attachment.
Hold. I'm going to go where it is. Then you go.
So he's going to go. This is where it's presenting, and
Oh.
and you do the well. They could give this, or this
Okay.
as a symptom.
Interactive tonight.
Yep.
Yep.
We're going to do stuff.
Yeah.
So most of the time, emotional attachments are usually on the aura itself. They're usually exterior. They usually are around somewhere where a large amount of energy is being produced or pooled. And they're the ones that do.
As far as emotional go,
Mm-hmm.
they feed on it.
Mm-hmm. So a lot of the times emotional attachments will elicit a response in order for whatever energy center they're sitting on to produce said amount of energy or said frequency.
So for those watching, basically, these are born from a lot of emotional energy, specifically, hence emotional attachment.
Mhm.
So unrequited feelings, repressed emotion, really negative, intrusive thoughts, things like that have a tendency to coalesce over time and cause these spots that Brian's talking about.
They have a tendency to manifest after a little bit. At first, they look like sludge. They just look sludgy. They don't really have a form or anything like that until later stages, usually around 2 to 3 months.
Yeah, about that.
Then they start to, what we've said it 1,000 times on these streams, we've said it in person, they usually look like the lamprey or the leeches. That's the majority of your emotional attachments are the leech types.
Parasitic.
Mm-hmm.
And that is something very important to understand. Each one of these types of attachments has a different way of quote unquote feeding or growing.
Mm-hmm.
Emotional attachments typically are your most parasitic. It doesn't mean that other attachments can't be. It just means that emotional attachments are the primary parasite.
Mm-hmm. Another case of a little bit more advanced of an entity being an emotional attachment for a lot of is a wraith.
Yeah.
Wraiths have the tendency to elicit specific responses in order to feed off of the energy in the environment, even though they're not specifically attached to the person. They're attached to the environment. But they feed off emotional energy. So they're classified as an emotional attachment.
You're,
Sorry, the tism is kicking hard right now.
hey, dude, it's fine.
Get it.
That's kind of where I'm at. It's fine.
Just get it.
And you could argue the point because the way, and this is kind of going on that particular tangent, the way that a wraith or an external entity does actually feed is through tethering.
Mm-hmm.
It literally sends out an energetic signature that hooks to you, like spider's web or a lasso or even a pinky string, something that is tied to you in a very emotional way. And that way, all they have to do is tug on the string to cause the response. It's literally like a straw.
Mm-hmm.
But because of that, technically they're an attachment because you carry them around like balloons at that point.
Mhm.
Are they actually attached to you or your energy? No, but they are attached to your emotional responses. Just giving some clarification.
Yep. All right, the next one. Are we going to go ahead and go into to the physicals? Or do we have any more we want to talk about emotional attachment?
Now, one of the other things as far as emotional attachments, this is something that's really important,
Gotcha.
are the main symptoms. So when someone comes to us, how it is we diagnose an emotional attachment student.
So there's a couple of different ways. You can see it literally flare in their aura around them when they start talking about something specific. There tends to be gunk in that specific chakra that can tend to lead towards something that may be an emotional attachment. There may be other underlying things there,
Mhm.
but most of the time it is the beginnings of an emotional attachment that they're either coming to terms with themselves, which has brought it forward and as a visual representation, or something that they need to deal with. And that kind of depends on what stage it's in, like what Brian was saying.
Mhm.
Because if it's further along, it's going to have a much more physical representation. If it's not, it's going to look like a cloudy chakra.
Mhm.
But it's going to be more of like a black cloud. Like I'm trying to visual word.
It's like sludge.
Yeah.
It's the best way that I can describe it because everybody, once I say the word sludge, you automatically know what that feels like in your hand.
Yeah. But you can also start to notice things because as you start knocking it off and as you start actually interacting with that individual to help them come to terms with whatever it is that they've seen within themselves, seen in someone else, or pulled forward within themselves as far as an emotional attachment, it'll start to rip away or move depending on what it is you start talking about. So they'll flare in a certain form or a certain spot, and it either moves the attachment or it feeds it and it gets bigger.
Yipper.
If it feeds it and it gets bigger, that means that they are not exactly in a spot that they are willing to let it go.
But we're going to elicit that response in order to make it pop
Yep.
because it can only feed so much.
Just like a tick. It can get full enough to burst.
And if it bursts, they burst because they'll start crying.
Venom is a different type.
Venom is a different type. And we'll get into that here in just a little bit. But one of the other things, and this is one of the bigger things, is an emotional attachment will affect your sleep.
Mhm.
Intense and vivid nightmares.
Mhm.
And on the flip of that, extreme insomnia. And it is literally a pendulum swing. You are doing one or the other. And we're talking about for days or even weeks. This isn't just oh, well, I couldn't sleep last night and then the next night I had a nightmare. We're talking about prolonged inability to sleep or prolonged nightmares. The person has extreme emotional instability and upheavals,
Mhm.
extreme sobbing, crying, very intrusive and very sad kinds of emotions, or extreme anger to violence out of nowhere without warning, without provocation.
Without medical history.
Yep. And that is something very important with any of these attachments. If the person is prone to this in a medical atmosphere, then it's probably good that they make sure that their condition is managed before worrying about the attachment itself. If their condition is not managed, it's just going to make the attachment worse, especially if someone is trying to remove it. So people like us will automatically go, you should probably go talk to somebody and get on some pills if you need them. Sometimes it is just having an outlet. Sometimes it's brain chemicals that need to be balanced. Sometimes it's both, but make sure that you are 100% behind getting some therapy especially if you've had an emotional attachment for a long time, because you will probably need it. All right, physical attachments.
Physical attachments.
Physical attachments usually appear on the body. I'm actually going to give this one a little bit. A lot of the times it manifests itself as crawling pain or moving
Like
aches, ants and achy, and it just moves randomly
so it'll
without medical history.
I'll have this random, as a, quote unquote, as a hypothetical. I have this random pain in my shoulder, but when I talk about the pain in my shoulder, I literally feel the entirety of that pain move throughout my body and come to my side on the opposite side, and then literally move from there
To my leg.
You can feel it crawl. It is a physical movement. Another thing is they will present as an extreme pressure. So you'll feel weight on your shoulders as if something is literally draped over them, because guess what?
It do be.
It do be do.
The spiritual pressure of a physical attachment is pretty high. So you're going to feel the sensation of added weight.
It wants you to.
Mm-hmm. Wants to be acknowledged.
Acknowledge me, senpai.
Notice me, senpai. Anyway, so
Acknowledge It's the squiggle sounds.
it's just
Uh,
mac and cheese.
and-
Anyway.
Just going.
So, me too, phone, whatever.
Spirit mechanics. But that was Instagram.
So, we're talking about spiritual pressure, the weight, we're talking about the movement. Another thing is that regardless of whether you are asleep or awake, and this is important, right? This is important to understand. Regardless of whether you are awake or asleep, if you are starting to receive burns, claw marks, bruises, grab marks, shoves, hair pulls, different things like that, and it is not in a fun time setting, then more than likely you have a physical attachment. Not all physical attachments are demonic, but some demonic presences can be physical attachments.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, there is a difference between having a physical attachment and a possession. They are two very different things.
Yurt.
Feel better?
Yeah, the tea.
So,
It's like magic.
how do we elicit a negative emotional response? But
So what are you, a physical or an emotional attachment?
currently I'm both.
Oh, God. Fuck. Hi, Shelly.
Now, back into it here.
God.
Physical attachments, if they're left alone long enough, can actually start affecting some of the systems of the body. Now, are we saying that they're the cause 100% of your shitty genetics? No. If you
We've
have,
got the physical attachment on his pancreas and his eyes.
and yeah, I just haven't been able to pull them out. My
Your
my
eye?
Your eyes.
Yeah, I can stick my fingers into them, but that's about it.
The only thing that stops the ache.
Not even. But the big thing here, in all seriousness, is a physical attachment can supplement your conditions going downhill. So they can exacerbate problems that you already have.
Hmm.
They can cause certain things, but I mean, you have to have them with you for decades. But typically, with some good stout physical attachments, you're going to start seeing things like nausea, heavy flu-like symptoms, massive migraines, difficulty with taking breath, heart palpitations, extreme major muscle group weakness or pain, sometimes both. But as far as a attachment causing heart disease, it can't do that. As far as an attachment, they made the joke, but in all seriousness, causing diabetes or anything like that is hereditary, no. That
German didn't give you cancer.
it did not. Now, can it influence the situation a bit? No, it can do that, but unfortunately, the big C, it is completely unproven whether or not anything like that could happen. It would be great if we had the ability to say that is the truth and pull the attachments and the cancer with it, but unfortunately, that isn't the case. Now, there is an interesting theory. It is theory. Notice that word, theory. I'm saying it again, theory. That way, if people decide to take this out of fucking context, theory. I've said it so many times, it's annoying, theory.
Is it a theory, Steve?
No, it's absolute fact, buddy. It's fucking theory. So,
So what's your theory?
it's not mine. There is an actual study going on. I am a part of it. Davis is a part of it. It's part of our own independent research that we've been doing with a bunch of other metaphysicians over the last 20 years or so. But attachments are, interestingly enough, linked to the trauma responses that can cause things like fibromyalgia. Because fibromyalgia is actually usually triggered by a extreme emotional trauma. So
Years of emotional fight or
Yes.
flight.
yes,
And constantly staying in that state.
But
Yes.
once again, that is a
theory. So
A fan theory.
but it is close to being understood. We'll put it that way. But I'm not going to say one way or the other if it is 100% the cause.
because once again,
It's got it there. So
It might be.
it might be, just might be,
a theory.
a theory. So the reason why I went to such extremes to explain that is I don't want what it is we say to be taken out of context at all. This is something that we're sharing with you guys based off of our research, what we know from our teachers, the different studies and the different groups that we're associated with. This is life experience and actual research. This is, but are we saying that all of this is 100% understood? Absolutely not.
We are not medical doctors.
We are not. All right.
The last set of attachments.
Are actually fun. And people have a tendency to really disregard this particular fact.
So we have two sets of attachments. We have physical and emotional attachments. We also have positive and negative attachments.
Yipper,
Positive attachments are your guides
your ancestors.
and angel guardians, fae, dragons, whatever a positive influence, you're God.
Actually, think about that one for a second.
It is a positive physical and emotional attachment.
Yep. 100%. You feel when your great uncle, whatever, comes in and goes, you know what, kid, you're doing good. You notice when your mom or pop comes back to visit. You notice when Archangel Michael shows up and goes, why did you call me? You know, you notice literally it's a physical presence. You feel it in your heart. It starts to race. Gives you the shakes, gives you goosebumps, makes the hair stand up. It's a physical attachment, and it's an emotional attachment because you know that you can relax, you can ease, you are loved, you have support and stability in those moments.
You sure the fuck are a positive attachment, Patrick.
You fucking Klingon, love you.
Space
Miss
man,
you.
got a rocket on my back.
He's the rocket on our back, man.
He sure as fuck is. I'm gonna hug you this weekend. I hope you know, and I'm probably gonna add the leg. Just be prepared.
Sweet.
Oh no.
He might. Steve isn't.
He just had the nail emoji.
Kisses. So, how about this? Let's give them a an understanding, right? So we'll give them an example, a piece of a positive attachment in our lives.
Like an example?
Yeah. Of a positive attachment.
My grandma comes back to visit all the freaking time. Matter of fact, she bothers a couple of people at the market because she's like, "Oh, hi, hey, how's it going?"
So how do you know it's her? That's what this is.
Okay.
We're giving them,
An example of
Yeah.
how we know it's them.
yes.
So
How is Gma a positive attachment?
she consistently reminds me that even if I think I'm not doing okay, I'm taking a step further in the right direction by at the very least admitting that I'm not.
Very good.
She also tends to smack back when I'm like, "Oh my God, I'm just terrible." No, you're not. Live your life. You could be worse. I'm like, yeah, I could be. You're right, Grandma.
Iron Giant kid, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, buddy.
She also drops fuck a lot.
Solid.
Yeah.
So how does Gma present herself? How do you know it's her when she shows up?
A couple of ways, but the most apparent to me is there is a picture of her from the 70s, and it's the only one with her with long hair. And so she's about my age with super, super long hair and just like a total fucking hippie. And that's how she presents it, exactly like that picture. It's my favorite picture of her because she's happy in it. And so she has a very bubbly presence. And because we have the same name, it makes it a lot easier too.
Patricia?
Yeah, actually, I'm named after both of them. They both have the same. Yes.
Patricia Cheese.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's how I know it's her. And she has a very distinct personality. It's a lot like mine, but a lot more just like, I don't give a fuck because I'm dead. And I'm like, get it?
I mean, yes.
Wow.
What?
Gma kind of escalates quickly.
She does.
We go from 0 to I'm dead. What you gonna do? And you're like, ah,
So, couple of comments real quick.
yeah.
Renee mentioned a little bit ago, saying that maybe that's potentially what's going on with her fibro because doctors are completely stumped as to why she has it. So
It's a potential thing,
it's a theory.
and there are actual medical schools that are linking fibro to the emotional upheaval. That is true. That's actually a medical study, and
That wasn't my grandma.
it was not. Now, are we saying that it's been proven? No, but medical science and metascience are coming to the same conclusion. So we can say that at least it's being worked on. But most of the time, doctors don't know where fibro really comes from because they don't really understand the nature of fibro, because technically fibromyalgia is an overarching umbrella for other issues. So it's trying to pinpoint what causes the body to go nah in the ways that it goes nah. And right now, the emotional link to fibro is a heavy hitter as far as a major contender for the reason why. So it's a possibility.
Once again, it's a theory.
You're
Shelley says stuck energy from trauma. It's potential.
mhm.
So
It could be that the channels have been opened up so much that once they close, there's still that amount of energy that is just sitting there smashing against those channels.
Could very well be, yeah.
It could be a nervous system issue where the actual nerves have fired so hard in fight or flight response that it can't distinguish it from pain.
Which is also part of a theory.
Mm-hmm.
But positive attachments?
Positive attachments. You want to go next? You want me to?
I could say Memo, but you've already done Memo. I'll do Dad.
Old bone.
I know Dad's around for a very, very distinct reason.
Same.
So there's two things. One, there's a very distinct smell of pine flowers.
Anybody in the audience that partakes of a particular substance will know exactly what we're talking about.
A specific flower that is green and smells danky. Smelly smell. That
It smells
smells.
smelly?
Yeah. And then out of nowhere on a random playlist and somebody's random place, the fucking song will come on, Bad to the Bone. George Thorogood. That was the song he wanted to go out on at his funeral.
They carried him out to that.
That's amazing.
I laughed so hard at his funeral. That was the kind of person that he was. He was not a very serious man. He was a cut up. He was one of the ones that would always try to make everybody else laugh because on the inside he was busted.
Yeah.
So, but every so often I'll catch it around. I'm like, I know I'm doing. And he doesn't even have to say anything.
Bad to the bone.
Oh, it's hilarious.
Hey, Dad. You gonna let me in the house? Still no.
Shelly said it's her mom's signature scent too.
Mhm.
Fair enough.
I'll do another if you want.
Steve's turn.
My turn.
Leaving him out.
Yo, bitch.
This bitch.
There's a number throughout my life. There's been a number of instances. Obviously, I could go with Merle. That would be the obvious one for everybody. But this one's a little bit different. And I've talked about it numerous times. Brian and I both talked about our experiences with our flavor. But it's an interesting kind of situation with me. And it's I'm here with you. So whenever it is that I need some guidance or some understanding, or for my intuition to peak, or when I'm really struggling with life or a situation, I'll get a hand on my shoulder. Typically, it's always my left shoulder, but I'll get a hand on my shoulder and squeeze. Be still and know that I am here. Be still and know that I am with you. And it's a different kind of feeling when you have that moment. There is a raw intimacy that can't be mistaken. And it literally, everything stops. Just me and you. We're going to have us talk. We're going to have us discussion. Time will still be there when we're done, but for right now, it doesn't exist for you. And we will literally have hours-long discussions in the matter of seconds. And I'll blink my eyes and the presence will be gone, and I'll be like, all right, here's what we did. It has never, ever steered me in a way that I shouldn't have gone. It was the presence I felt when I was younger, and the eyes were worse than they are now. When I would see things crystal clear and the rest of the world was a finger painting, and I'd get scared. No, you're okay. When I was 9 and went into a coma for a week due to being misdiagnosed as a type 1 diabetic, the entire time, I'm here with you. You don't have to worry. Got the eyes at 12 and the extended surgeries thereafter. It's okay. We're going to do this together. And so on and so forth. Anytime that I probably should have left mortal coil, or any time that I was needed so that someone else didn't, I have always felt that presence, and I have never been without. It's a different kind of thing. It's a different kind of attachment. That's what we're talking about. It's a two-way. And that's one of the biggest things to understand between positive and negative attachments. A positive attachment is a two-way street. It is a relationship. It is choosing to be a part of what it is that you are talking to in a positive way, and them choosing to be a part of your life where they are welcome. Me too, whatever the fuck that was.
You're sitting here talking, I'm getting an epiphany and stuff starts flexing around the house. I mean, the room.
Mm-hmm. Ugh. Didn't mean to derail the entire conversation.
No, it's comforting. That's the thing, is that I was, it's yes.
Awesome. I'm glad we understood.
Right, wait, some words. They're fucking mush mouth. Abba, what the fuck? So
It makes you all warm and fuzzy inside.
Like
Even
Today's
just-
craft.
yeah. It makes the heart go. Yeah, that. It brings the happy white light. Huh?
We're motorboating life.
Yes.
Awesome.
Get on board. Both nose. So, Patrick just said that's a whole lot of yes right there.
Motorboating life. Or here's Steve's recount of his attachment.
Oh my God. The daughter said heartstrings before Patrick said it's a whole lot of yes right there. And Shelly said that's beautiful.
Okay.
Agreed.
At least I understand where those are coming from.
right, awesome. Right, Jesus.
Oh my God. Yeah.
So, going into negative attachments. Negative attachments are interesting. Yeah, technically emotional and physical attachments can be negative attachments, obviously, but they're a little bit different. It's a little bit different of a situation. You want to give definition, buddy?
Negative attachment is the thing that affects you negatively. Or you want more?
I kind of in depth, man.
How deep do you want me to go, sir?
Well, from motivating life.
Yeah, I got you.
Right, because I mean,
I'm being smart ass.
no, so am I. You know, we're discussing the different types, but
Negative attachments, it depends on how they manifest, is how they are interacted with. If a lot of the times, invitation brings negative attachments with it. The act of inviting. Other times, such as the leech, the emotional attachment, the leech, the sludge, that kind of thing. It's mostly you.
things that you create.
Mm-hmm.
So this is getting more into the realm of what people would consider body jumping. So things entering your space, your body, your presence against your will. This is also getting into the realm of possession, which we'll talk about a little bit more next week. But these are things that are typically either forced in, so they shoehorn their way into things, or are invited in some cases, and can cause some very negative effects. Still, even then, even if they force their way in, you have the ability to say no.
Mm-hmm.
Even if it's chosen,
Mm-hmm.
you have the ability to say no. Now, depending on what it is that you decide to make a contract with, I say that on purpose. It's kind of difficult to get the fuck out of it, but you still have the ability to say no to an agreement. Is it wise to do this shit in the first place? Absolutely fucking not. And is it wise to choose something and then immediately go back on it? No, it's really not.
I don't care which side of the fence you play on that. You make an agreement to do something, either side, positive or negative. You make an agreement to do something. My suggestion will be to do it, because the boon of the positive can go away just as quickly. Okay, you can do it on your own.
As the peace without the negative can just as quickly go away.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so you are reneging on something that we decided on. I don't appreciate that. Yep. So, interestingly enough, too, the whole thing with negative attachments, this is where you get into true curses. This is where you get into actual hexes. Notice how we brought up you still have the ability to say no. To both hexes and curses, you have the ability to say no to them and their presence. And both of those are instances. A hex is something that is shoehorned in. It's something that somebody else has presented to you. But it's something that has to be accepted before it can take hold. If you literally look at the person or the situation and go, nah, fuck you, there's literally nowhere else it goes. It fizzles out in front of you. Now, a curse is a little bit different. A curse is a choice that you made. And what I mean by that is a curse is actually, by working and by history and by research, is actually a defense mechanism that you have tripped. You fucked around and you found out. Case in point, look at, King Tut's tomb. all over all of his shit. The walls, the stuff he had around him, his own sarcophagus, inside it. Don't touch me. Don't touch my shit. Don't move me. You're welcome here if you want to be here, but do not mess with anything. They
What are we
literally,
gonna do?
they literally decipher it, like right there. And then, like
We're gonna
Brian
take
was
shit
saying,
anyway.
yeah,
I'm gonna take your skin, man, and boil it in tea.
literally.
Because that's what they used to do to mummies. That's why we don't have any.
Yep,
Blech.
yep,
They eat them or boil them into tea because they thought it would make them virile.
yes. More godlike.
Mhm.
And
Some people's kids.
some people's kids. But yeah, and every person that did that, it was a clear deterrent against grave robbing. And what do? They literally come in unannounced, without permission, and take shit that is not theirs. Guess what? By definition, there is a dead body in the room. It is a grave robbing. Every motherfucker that was associated with pulling him and his belongings out of that room have either died of mysterious causes, have had terrible things happen in their lives, have come up with strange diseases that no one fucking understands.
Died on site.
Literally dropped dead.
Never mind the booby trap. When one of them like some sort of acid when they open the actual thing up,
Some kind of there was something that happened, and I don't remember exactly.
or am I thinking of the Mummy?
That's the Mummy.
Okay, that's my fault. That's my
but-
fault. My brain
But
went
as
to there.
far as dying on site, yeah, there were a couple that literally had heart attacks,
Mhm.
dead. But they were warned in multiple fucking fashions, in multiple fucking ways.
In multiple languages.
Don't touch me or my shit. Don't take it from this room. And they do it and they get fucked. You fuck around, you find out. You play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. And that's the whole thing. That's the reason why if you've ever come to us and you're like, well, I think I'm cursed, and we're like, you're not.
Bet.
That's the reason why we're doing that. It is very easy to recognize a curse. Very fucking easy. And 9 times out of 10, we won't come into physical contact with you. If you actually have a curse on you, it's across the table.
Here, touch this rock. Touch this stone.
And that's not to say that everybody that we have
No.
touches stones.
You're all cursed.
Let me fix this.
But
Like you like rat holes? No. Anyway,
What?
what?
Did I just hear?
What?
Did you say?
Renee said,
We're going back here.
Reverse. What
Did you just ask?
did you say?
yeah, I did.
Okay. That's all I needed to know. Because I thought I was going crazy.
The answer is no, but
Mine.
I mean,
I appreciate mine.
I release things from mine. It is a type of therapy for me, but
So family curses that go back generations? Question mark. Oh,
Maybe. I'm still stuck on butthole.
right?
I was making sure that I heard the correct thing because my brain went to, was it this or was it that? Because the other one was bread rolls. Like, that doesn't make sense in this context.
I see. So Renee's comment.
I can't say that I'm angry, but I can say that I'm disappointed.
Oh my god.
All right, Steve, get mine.
Oh,
I'm so disappointed in you. Get in line.
get mine. Yep. Oh man. But as far as generational curses are concerned, they can be passed down, depending on what the situation is. If you have an ancestor that fucked around and found out and didn't right their particular wrong, which is all you actually have to do to get rid of a curse, by the way, even if all it is apologizing for the misdeed you did, it's enough of an energetic shift to cause a curse to go, nah, okay, they got it figured out. I guess I can fuck off. So that's kind of the way that it works. If they didn't get it figured out, they can literally pass it on. That's what a generational curse actually is.
Now, the majority of what people consider a generational curse, a lot of the time, is a transfer in mindset, not so much actual curse working.
Well, great grandma had shitty upbringing, so great grandma treated her kids shitty, which means grandma treated mom shitty, which means mom treated me shitty.
So I'm going to treat my kids shitty.
That is a generational curse.
When they were poor, we were poor from way back. Poor, 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 poor. I don't know why we're poor. See what I'm saying?
Renee, oh, sorry. I was just going to read the comment, but maybe it's not. Fuck. Renee asked, like,
Red rolls.
I'm just gonna roll for help for mental health. It's probably gonna be a nat one, y'all. But that's my first. Anyway, Renee asked, like, in blood curses, etc.
Yeah, I mean, it's technically that would be the definition of what a generational thing would be. It's tied to the genetic material.
Yeah, the bloodline.
Mm-hmm.
So you'll hear us, instead of calling it a generational curse, we'll call it a bloodline curse if there's something like that. Because the term generational curse is really misconstrued, like we just mentioned. Anything that has happened throughout your family lineage that has not been great, which I hate to tell those that are suffering from quote unquote generational curses, it's happened to literally all of our fucking families. There is misfortune in everybody's life, and there is misfortune in everybody's family to some degree. It's your choice if you want to perpetuate it. But as far as bloodline curses, that's what we were talking about as far as ancestors fucking around and finding out and passing it down.
Mm-hmm.
In other words, sins of the father, right? Are sins of the son.
As far as generational curses go, that's another time where knowing the difference between the paranormal and pareidolia comes into play.
Yes.
Because
Golf clap.
yay.
You did it. You did it.
You did it.
Yay.
I have a map. Guys, I have a map.
So does that make you Boots? Am I Swiper?
So
Painless.
but it's very important to know the differences because it's a lot of manifestation as well. Because if you're actively looking for something, much like we talked about last week, you're gonna fucking find it. Wow, all this blank of bad blank has been happening for years. Then that's all you fucking notice, and it's just a downhill slope from there.
Sure.
And then you start actually stumbling into shit you shouldn't be in, and then that's when
Sure.
things get really bad. So please, 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 please be mindful of the difference between paranormal and pareidolia.
Sure.
Because if you don't understand the difference, you will fuck around and you will find out.
Yes.
This message has been approved.
All right. We'll see y'all later.
But, and that's not to say that every bit of misfortune that happens is, something that you have brought on to yourself. Life is going to life. It's going to happen. It's going to do what it does. Circumstances are what they are. Your choices during those circumstances are what gives you the in or the out. We're either going to stay in this or we're going to work our way out of it. Choosing to stay in a situation that you know is unhealthy for you is a choice.
Mm-hmm.
So keep that in mind. That's what we're saying here. Uh, but back into things, you're getting into the stuff that is kind of shoehorned in. This is, well, how about this? How about that? Cursing, stuff like that. It's stuff that you literally get involved in that forces its way in. Whereas things like certain types of body jumping or even possession to a degree, and we're not going to go full tilt into possession, but those things typically, and notice how I'm using that word typically, those things typically are invited.
Whoever will listen, I have a request.
If anybody out there would just give me a second, I'm calling to whoever will answer my prayer.
I just suddenly had this mental image of 1,000 like Jack Russell Terriers just sticking their head around the corner when you said that. Like, what?
Yeah. Yeah.
Is he doing it for real?
Nah.
No.
Damn.
But yeah, those open-ended kinds of situations, a verbal contract is still a contract, something that has no real scruples.
Words are important, y'all. Be cautious of what you say out loud.
I mean, we have had cases before where people have had open-ended contracts with entities. Lucky for them, they weren't demonic in nature, but they were still pretty heinous. We had a couple. One of them was in Indiana. One of them was in Ohio. Both of them were pretty terrible situations. And then we had this poor guy call us. You knew I was going to bring this one up, and we're probably going to bring him up again next week. This poor dude calls us. He is Luciferian, which, okay, that if that's your bag, that's your bag. If that's what gets you there, that's cool. But he sold his soul to a demon, and then realized that this demon was tearing his life apart, actually, by symptom and proof. He sent us proof of it. By symptom and proof, he had his life torn apart. It was starting to affect his wife and his child, and he's like, so how do I fix it? Like, you willingly, unfortunately, my dude, you willingly sold your soul. This was not all right, a demon influenced its way in and made me believe that it was a good choice to do these things. You willingly sold your soul. You used yourself as currency for what it is that you got, and he did get what he asked for. It paid him in full. So unfortunately, there are ways of getting someone out, but either he wasn't willing to, because he never got back with us. Either he wasn't willing to do what it is that we suggested, or he just wandered off somewhere. Those kinds of situations are much different. When you invite that kind of thing into your life, that is a chosen attachment, which is very negative. Very, very negative. And very fucking dangerous, because it makes it very difficult to help you. Does it mean that it's impossible? No. And does it mean that we won't try? No. But it makes it very difficult, whether it's us or another practitioner, a priest, a rabbi, whoever is trying to help you, it makes it more difficult because there is not something for us to cling to. The fight is harder, the time is longer, and it is going to do more harm before it does any good. keep that in mind. The big thing with these kinds of attachments, jumpers and possessions, keep in mind the toll that they actually take. This is something that will affect you for the rest of your life and probably those around you as well. Don't use your soul as currency. Don't, fuck around with things that you know are dangerous just to prove a point or just out of spite. The interesting thing here is this life, this particular one that you are currently leading, this meat suit, yeah, there's only one of those, but your soul is an eternal thing. And if you sell it, where are you going to end up?
This is a small PSA. Know your worth, guys. And never think that you aren't worth more than that. Each one of you is important. Be cautious, choose good for yourself. Be kind to yourself and to others. It's important.
And on that note, it is 10:16.
All right. So I'll be live at some point, sometime tomorrow or Saturday morning. It depends on how the day tomorrow goes. But I'm going to try and make sure it's done by tomorrow night. But we'll have a forecast. Hopefully you guys have been finding those beneficial. And we've got some interesting things to talk about this week because we are now in shadow of another retrograde.
Woo.
So it's not just Pluto by itself anymore. It gets a playmate.
Yay.
Maybe it'll calm it down a hair. Probably not, but we'll see. Because right now Pluto is rolling down the street, running full tilt with its tits out, slapping itself in the face. So
Shutting you like balls.
Bread rolls,
Oh.
bread rolls,
buttholes.
buttholes. But we'll also have new episodes up on the YouTube for you here very soon. We're doing shorts and different things like that as well. Check them out. Feel free to share us. Feel free to contact us with anything that you have questions about. If you're having trouble, if you know someone who's having trouble, we'll always do our best for you guys. Those of you that have worked with us before know that we are 100% with you 100% of the way. So never feel as though your question is quote unquote stupid or too basic or novice. We're all learning in some way, shape, or fashion. So we're all novices. Never go without getting your answers. If we can help you get them, we're going to help you get them. If we can't, we're going to find someone who can. But come see us this weekend. It'll be the three of us and Mr. Tyree, maybe a couple others. And we're looking forward to it. That is all day Saturday and all day Sunday this week. Clarion Hotel Convention Center, 3000 Newtown Pike, Lexington, Kentucky. Come check it out. But till we see you, and as always, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and remember that those that have the power to change themselves have the power to change the world around themselves. Love you guys.
Later. Love you.